That sudden surge mid-afternoon in shares of Netflix, and whether it's a sign that some Nasdaq stocks have come down too much to ignore. Been a rough week for tech in general. Is it a buying opportunity? And what are we to make of the markets today and this week? As we said, a very rough week. Let's ask Jim Cramer that very question. He is here, of course, the host of Mad Money. He's got his new set, and he's going to be over there in a couple hours' time. Joe Terranova is also here. Just got out of his Nasdaq 100 trade. Devolving situation in the economy.
Of the macro, meaning what's China, what's Russia, what's United States, what's Europe, and 30% FedEx. As the day went, I started thinking, let's make it 60% world, 40% X, because in the end, I know this sounds shocking, but the revenues weren't that bad. It was the bottom line, which means they've got some real fat Joe.
So is UPS okay?
She took the medicine. See, now I'm sure there's still some, obviously the macro is not gone.
Right.
But she took the medicine when the economy was good. And Raj's got to take the medicine when the economy's bad.
I think
and that's what's so tough.
The vote, if you want to call it that, in the market today evolved just like the story about FedEx too. I mean, it's no secret that the market closed well off of its lows. If the market was so concerned that FedEx was telling you a canary in the coal mine story, the market wouldn't have come back the way it did. Now, obviously, a 28-point decline on the S&P 500. We closed below 3,900. Isn't great. But I think the market started to snip this out, too.
Look, we did halftime together, and I think you could sense the concern that I had for the market. Friday afternoon, options expiration, all these, leveraged ETFs that at the end of the day exacerbate the selling pressure. I was worried about today, right?
So was I.
Yeah, how to
I came home last night.
This is not so bad.
I was trying to, put my best Herbert on, and then I was feeling the tightness. Good game. But I think you're right. I think that what's happened here is that there are two man-made problems. One of them is President Xi, who somehow feels that you can beat a disease that can't be beaten. Everybody has to get it in the end. And then you've got another man, Putin, who's causing a very small country, causing a war that's shutting down Europe, where he meets with Xi. She doesn't seem that happy. I'm mentioning these because these are man-made. And FedEx's problems would not go away if these man-made problems went. But there are reasons to believe that you can't just constantly bet against everything good happening. I mean, it's just, Scott, that when President Xi meets with President Putin, he did not say, way to go, you're crushing it. No, because he's a realist. He's a transactional president.
You made the point, really, Jim, from the moment the CPI came out, sell some stocks at your peril. And it goes to where I led off today in overtime here with this. It was a midday big buy of Netflix, I'm told, leaked out, stock popped. You could see it on an intraday chart, finishes up 2%, $5 in a bad tape. It raises the issue for me as to whether some of these stocks that have gotten clobbered, like a Netflix from 700 to 236, right, or 162 is the 52-week low, is too good to pass up.
Well, what am I going to do? Craig Jelinek sits down with me for a while, the CEO of Costco. This week. He said, boy, business is really fabulous. It's pretty amazing. We're taking share from everybody. I figured, okay, so maybe down 20% you buy it. I mean, Home Depot, I sit down today with Ted Decker, the CEO. He says, well, business is really booming. I figure, hey, down 20%, you buy. We're going to have to get away from the mindset of down 20%. It gets interesting. Because pretty soon, they're not going to go down 20%.
Well, I also think, and I think you know this as well, first of all, I don't think today had anything to do with retail. I don't think this was retail. I think this was all the algos,
yes,
the rules-based systematic funds that are in the market.
Right.
And I think both in the case of Netflix and Tesla, and I would tell you, I think you're okay in each of those stocks. What you're seeing algos doing is they're picking up on relative outperformance. So they're saying stocks peaked in November, right, bottomed in May, never made another low.
Why does no one else talk about that?
Both Tesla and Netflix, and now in the last 5 days, guess what? The S&P is down 5%. Netflix, even without today's gain, was still higher, and Tesla is modestly higher. So the algos are attracted to that relative outperformance. They're stepping in and buying it.
There's a message attracted to selling FedEx, even down 40, I mean, the other way, too?
I think so.
Yeah, I do, too.